Her name was Selena Voss, and the city only whispered it after dark. To the world, she was an enigma. But to the men who met her in velvet lounges and candlelit hotels, she was a flame in human form. Silk dresses, smoky eyes, laughter that made married men forget their vows. Selena didn't date. She didn't love. She consumed. And every night she lit her world on fire. 30, she had already built an empire, not the kind made of offices and boardrooms but of secrets and stares. She was the muse behind 2 best-selling perfume lines, the name hidden behind late-night fashion deals, and the face some billionaires paid to see, even if only across a dinner table. Her rules were simple. Never let them touch your heart. Always leave before dawn. And never ever go home. 'Cause home wasn't real. That night she was draped in crimson silk at the rooftop of Hotel Amara, a glass of bourbon in her hand, the wind teasing her hair as a man named Marcus begged her for one more hour. "You're unforgettable," he whispered. She leaned in close, her lips brushing his ear. "Then forget me." And with that she disappeared down the elevator, barefoot, heels in hand, laughing to herself. That was her power. And it always worked. Until the letter arrived. No knock. No envelope. Just a single folded paper slipped under her penthouse door. She saw it at 2:14 a.m. after another glitter-soaked night. Her body still smelled of jasmine and men's cologne. She picked it up with lazy fingers, expecting another apology or desperate poem. But the handwriting made her freeze. It was familiar. Too familiar. She unfolded it slowly. It read, "You forgot me, but I never forgot the night you left. You built a fire around yourself so no one could see the ashes. But I remember what burned. I remember her name. Come home, Selena. Or I'll bring home to you." No signature. Just one thing at the bottom. The name Ivy. Her breath caught. Her fingers trembled. The paper slipped from her hands and drifted to the floor like a dead petal. She hadn't heard that name in over 12 years. Not since she was 17. Not since she buried it under luxury and silence. Ivy was her younger sister. The one she left behind. Selena backed away from the letter like it might explode. Her past was never supposed to find her. She had erased that small-town girl, the one with the bruised knees, the broken home, the crying sister begging her not to leave. She had set that girl on fire. And risen from the smoke. But the letter smelled of ashes. And somewhere far away, a voice from a forgotten life had just whispered, "I remember you." Selena didn't sleep that night. The city outside her penthouse still buzzed, traffic, rooftop parties, sirens in the distance, but her world had gone completely silent. She sat on the floor in her red dress, legs tucked to her chest, the letter still open in front of her like it was alive. Ivy. Just saying the name in her head made her feel like a fraud. The last time she saw her little sister, Ivy was 12, arms skinny, eyes full of betrayal, screaming from the porch as Selena shoved her duffel bag into the back of a bus. "Don't leave me," Ivy had cried. "Selena, please." But Selena had left. 'Cause back then, leaving was survival. And now she had no idea what she'd left behind. At noon the next day, she skipped her meetings. Turned her phone off. Ignored the man waiting for her in a high-rise suite downtown. Instead, she sat in her massive marble bathroom, scrubbing red lipstick from her lips like it was poison. The mirror didn't recognize her anymore. She wasn't the fire. She was the smoke after. The second letter came 3 days later. This time, slipped between pages of a fashion magazine delivered to her suite. Same handwriting. Same punch to the gut. "You used to hum to me when I cried. Now I hum to myself in silence. Tell me, does your champagne still taste good when you know I drink from broken cups?" There was a photo inside. Blurry. Cheaply printed. A girl in a waitress uniform working a diner. Ivy. Older now. Taller. Her face harder. But those eyes? Till the same. Till full of questions. Selena flew to Ridgefield, Montana the next morning. Private jet. Black coat. No luggage. No one knew she was gone. Not the city, not her clients, not even her assistant. She just disappeared. The town hadn't changed. Till dusty roads. Still peeling paint on old storefronts. Still the same diner on Main Street, Nancy's. She stood outside the glass door for almost 20 minutes before going in. The bell above the door jingled. A few truckers looked up. And there she was. Behind the counter. Ivy. She had a braid down her back, tired hands, and that same look of fire in her eyes. Selena didn't speak. Ivy saw her and froze. A glass slipped from her hand, shattering. Silence spread across the diner. Their eyes locked. 12 years of silence crashed between them in one glance. "You've got nerve," Ivy finally said, voice low, tight. Selena swallowed. "I got your letters." I figured. It was either that or send a storm. Selena tried to smile. "It didn't come." "I didn't know how to reach you," she said. "No. You just didn't want to." They sat outside on a metal bench behind the diner during Ivy's break. The air smelled like grease and earth. Selena's designer heels didn't belong here. Neither did her guilt. "I thought I was doing what I had to," she said. "You were," Ivy said flatly. "For you." Selena blinked. "Ivy, what happened to you?" Ivy turned to her. Those same brown eyes burning. "You happened to me." They didn't speak for a full minute. Just sat there on a rusted bench behind the diner, the wind shifting Ivy's braid and tugging at the hem of Selena's long black coat. "You disappeared," Ivy finally said. "One day you were my sister, and the next you were just gone." Selena lowered her eyes. "I had to leave." "Yeah," Ivy's voice cracked. "And I had to stay." She pulled out a cigarette from a dented tin, lit it with shaky fingers. She didn't smoke gracefully, not like the women in Selena's world. She smoked like it was keeping her alive. Selena watched her, quietly breaking. "I thought if I left, it would protect you." Ivy gave a dry laugh. "You thought running away from our mother's screaming and that man's fists would somehow save me? You didn't take me. You didn't even send a letter." Selena's throat tightened. "I couldn't take care of you. I had nothing. You had me," Ivy snapped. Her voice rang out into the parking lot, sharp and real and unbearable. Selena blinked back tears. But Ivy wasn't finished. "Do you know what happened after you left?" she asked coldly. "He got worse. Mom disappeared for weeks. I slept in closets. Learned how to hide bruises. Learned how to shut my mouth. And you." Ivy looked her up and down, the tailored coat, the sleek hair, the diamond earrings. "You learned how to seduce the world," Selena whispered. "I was trying to forget." "Well, I was trying to survive." Silence. Selena reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. "Here," she said. "There's a check inside. Enough for—" Ivy slapped it out of her hand. "I don't want your money, Ivy. I want your guilt. I want your time. I want you to look me in the eye and say you're sorry. Not with jewelry. Not with fake tears. With truth." Selena bent down and picked up the envelope slowly. Her hands were shaking. "I'm sorry," she said. "I don't forgive you," Ivy said. "Not yet. I don't expect you to. But I needed you," she added. "And you weren't there." Selena nodded. "I know. I hated myself for it every night." She looked away. "I built this woman, Selena Voss, because I couldn't live with who I used to be." Ivy looked at her. "And now? Now I think I want to find the girl again." Later that night, Selena booked a room at the cheapest motel in town. No penthouse. No room service. No velvet robe. Just a mattress with springs and a ticking wall clock. She sat on the bed and opened her old phone, the backup one she hadn't touched in years. One she kept hidden for emergency only. Inside were drafts of letters she'd written but never sent. All of them to Ivy. She read them slowly. "I miss you. I don't know how to undo what I did. I hope you hate me less someday." She cried. For the first time, she let herself cry. Not because she was caught. Not because the past found her. But because she knew now she deserved it. The next morning, Selena walked to the diner before sunrise. She didn't wear makeup. No lipstick. No perfume. No designer sunglasses to shield her from the truth. Just a gray hoodie, old jeans, and the kind of tired you can't sleep off. Ivy was already inside, refilling the coffee machine. Her hair was tied up messily, her sleeves rolled. She didn't look surprised to see Selena walk in. "Didn't expect you back," she said flatly. "I'm not leaving yet," Selena replied. "Unless you want me to?" Ivy didn't answer. Selena sat at the corner booth alone. Ordered a black coffee. No sugar. No cream. Bitter. Like honesty. For the next hour she just watched. Watched Ivy joke with the cooks. Watched her carry plates like they weighed nothing, even though the past clearly did. Watched how everyone looked at her, not with pity or desire, but with respect. Ivy had built a life. And Selena had only built distance. That afternoon, she bought a small notebook from the gas station and sat under the willow tree behind the trailer park where they grew up. It was the place she used to hide as a child, where Ivy would crawl in beside her and whisper stories just to drown out the fights coming from the house. Now the tree was older. So was she. She opened the notebook and began to write. 4 hours. Pages and pages of words she had never said. Confessions. Secrets. Memories. Shame. Love. She didn't stop until the sun went down. Then she tore the pages out and folded them into a single envelope. That night, she slipped it through the door at Ivy's apartment. No text. No knock. No expectation. Just a letter. The first real one. 2 days later, Ivy showed up at the motel. Didn't speak at first. Just stood by the door, holding the letter in her hand, pages folded, refolded, tear-stained. Finally, she looked up. "You remembered my cat's name." Selena smiled softly. "You hated that thing." "I did," Ivy said. "But you remembered anyway." They sat on the bed, two women who used to share bunk beds and secrets and fear, now sitting in silence, finally out of excuses. "I'm still mad," Ivy said. "I know. But I also know something else." "What?" "You loved me. You just didn't know how to show it." Selena's voice cracked. "I still don't." "Well," Ivy said, a tear sliding down her cheek, "this was a pretty good start." That night, for the first time in over a decade, they talked. Laughed a little. Cried more. They didn't fix everything. But they stopped pretending it couldn't be fixed. Weeks later, Selena returned to the city, not to relight the fire but to close the doors she no longer needed. She sold the penthouse, canceled her contracts, and vanished from the world that once worshipped her. No press release, no dramatic goodbye, just a final whisper in the dark. "I'm choosing peace." Back in Ridgefield, she moved into a small rented house down the road from Ivy. She taught poetry at the local school. Quietly. Softly. Some nights she still wore red lipstick. But not to seduce. Just to remind herself that the fire was never in the flame, it was in the choice to stay.